So Candace, you had an amazing semester. When I saw you at the beginning of the semester, you were kind of bent over your table, your desk, and I heard very little sound coming out of your mouth. And when it did, it was like random pitches. It was hard to understand how in the world we were going to get from this point to passing RL Skills 3. And then a transformation occurred. So can you just tell us, how did this happen?
I was very afraid. I'm always like, I don't like practicing in front of people. I don't like singing in front of people. If someone even sees me like walking down the street with my saxophone on, like, I turn and look the other way because I'm like, oh God, people. And so like in the classroom, I felt like I was surrounded by vocalists, and I was like, I could feel the judgment. I doubt there was any. I was probably just making it up, but it took me a minute. Okay, it took longer than a minute. It took a really long time to get comfortable. Every thought that just popped into my head that was like, you can't do this, you're gonna sound terrible, like you have to ignore it, because I think is it 2 Corinthians, is it 12:9, where he says something about his power being perfected in weakness or something.
That's
like
right.
that. And
my strength is made perfect in weakness.
Yeah. And so I kind of use that in a sense to like, I don't know, it just helped me think like, I'm here doing this for God, and He's blessed my practice time, He's going to bless my classroom time, my exam time, and all these negative thoughts, like I just have to shut them out and just be like, go away.
Good. So when we fast forward to, what was that? That was just a few days ago. You came in and did an amazing job on your Unit 2 exam. Close to the end of the semester now, you just rocked on that thing. What happened there? What were you doing that made that so amazing? You were matching pitch, you had the rhythm, you were expressive, your tone was good, vocally. Your tone was good. You were conducting. Everything came together, whereas before it just seemed like, man, how is this ever going to come about? But you did it. How did that happen?
I just told myself to remember, what I did in my practice time, like certain things that I had practiced and like I knew that I could do. And I had to make myself like look at certain parts of the examples and say, well, it starts here, but I'm aiming for this note.
Mm-hmm.
Or I see this note and it's kind of like it's resolving down in a sense to like, just, you have to look at how everything fits together. And
yeah.
So I was having to analyze a bit more than I normally do, I guess. And just focus on the good.
Great. Yeah. Well, that's great. Now, you have recently, I remember early in the semester you said how difficult it would be this semester to get everything done. Your work schedule is taxing. You're a busy person. And yet, at the end of the semester, you have found time to write, 84 bars worth of string quartet music? I mean, you have a long piece that you've been bringing by and working on. Tell me about that, because that's a transformation too. You composing, where before you're like, I don't even know if I can get my coursework done.
Actually, I have a friend who, I told him about the finale program, like for computers and stuff, and he's a math major, so, but he also plays saxophone in sim band, and he wanted to try it out, so I brought him over to the MRC and we sat down, and I was like, I haven't composed anything for a while, and I started, I probably went through 2 or 3 different ideas before I found the one that I'm working on now, and I like realized that, oh yeah, this is relaxing. this is what I do to unwind. And
Wow.
in a sense, I think that it helps, like, with theory and oral skills, and they help the composing too, because I'm like, oh, I learned how to do this in music theory, and I learned what this sounds like in oral skills, and like what all of it leads to. And so it's almost like applying what I've learned, and then since it's composing and I can do what I want, sometimes not applying it.
Yeah, you can break out of the mold too. That's good. Wow. Now, emotionally, I see a transformation this semester too. So, early in the semester, you looked pretty dejected. You were kind of down. But now, look at you. What happened? How could this be?
A lot of processing went on. Like, I faced a lot of things, like, in my life, I've faced a lot of stuff in general that I don't think a lot of people have had to, at least yet at my age. And then I faced a lot of stuff at the beginning of the semester that I'd never had to deal with before. And, I don't know, it was just getting myself to process things and to, like, I'm trying to think how to word that, because I got like 600 thoughts going in my head all at once.
Yeah.
Thinking more positively, I guess, because I would, like, go into any class and I'd be like, oh, this is going to be terrible, I just don't want to be here. And then I'd have a bad class. But then I was like, well, change my attitude, go in there, class won't be so bad, and eventually over time, I won't have that bad attitude. And
Yeah.
another thing I talked to Dr. Bailey about, well, I sent him an email about it. We do this song in symphonic band, It Is Well, and it's based on the hymn. And depressing moment. The first time I ever heard that hymn was at my mom's funeral. But I remember, like, anytime that we would play that song in symphonic band, I would just take, like, all this stuff that has happened or is going on, and I would kind of, like, crumble it up in a little ball and then put it through the horn, put it through my saxophone, like a prayer to God, and like a praise, be like, you got me through this, I know you could get me through this. And so just finding ways to keep my head up when life seemed kind of crappy.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Did
Absolutely.
I ramble too far off the topic?
Sometimes I would even see you in the course of a class period, your head down, looking pretty glum, and then at some point I'd see you look up with hope in your eyes. I mean, I could see something was going on. What, can you give us a little sense of what was going on, even in that moment?
I battle things internally, and so, like, I could be in a class and everyone else is focusing on that class, but I'm focusing on something that happened like 3 hours ago and just trying to deal with it, and, like, I lost my train of thought.
But something would happen in class?
Yeah, like, I would just be thinking, and sometimes you would play music and, like, I don't know, music is like my life, so it automatically just kind of helps with everything, but I would just be battling at it in my head, and then I'd have to remind myself, you know, this isn't over, God has got you here for a reason, because I always, like, every day I ask myself, why am I a music major? Is this something I can even do? Like, really? And I just remind myself, I am here for a reason, and if I wasn't supposed to be here, then I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. You know He's guiding you. That gives you confidence. He's got a plan, and so you can follow through with it.
Yeah, that's kind of scary because I don't always know if I'm following through, but that's just where the whole trust thing comes in. Like, God will let me know if I messed up.
Yeah.
Or life will. I don't know. But I just keep believing that I'm where I'm supposed to be, and whatever happens in the end is going to turn out for God's glory. And I mean, that's all that really matters. So
Yeah.
it's going to be okay in the end.